Hello everybody and welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Brittany and on this channel we talk all about plants, and today is finally a beautiful spring day in Wyoming, and so I was thinking it is about time to pot up a couple of these plants that I have that I know are really tight in their pots. So if you are into plants and into spring and into caring for plants, stick around and let's talk potting up plants. Okay, so I have 3 plants that desperately needed potted up for spring that I pulled out that we'll do today. So the first one is this Chinese money plant, Pilea peperomioides. And we have talked about this plant on this channel. We actually had downsized this because we were having some trouble with leaf growth, and the downsize did work, but now this has desperately outgrown this little 2-inch pot that it's in, and I think that it will really thrive this summer from a repot. The second plant that we have is just this little heartleaf philodendron, and it is actually still in the nursery pot from when I bought it, and I can tell that it needs an upsize in pot because the roots are coming out of the bottom. So we're gonna do this guy as well. And then the last one is this Tradescantia. It's like a little mixed pot of Tradescantia zebrina, and then a small cutting here of the Nanook in there. So this is obviously needing a little upsize as well. So each of these are going to go up a pot size. I've got some 4-inch pots here and then also some 5-inch pots. So stick around, let's take a look at what these look like currently, and then we will get these potted up and all ready for their little summer homes. So we are going to start with this Pilea, and like I said, we had downsized this, and you can watch that in a previous video. Let's talk Pilea, and the reason being I was getting no growth for like months in terms of leaves, and I thought that the issue might be that the energy was all going into roots, and so I downsized this into this tiny little 2-inch pot, and since then this thing has just like exploded with growth. I mean, it's gigantic. The actual leaves itself go 6 inches past the pot, and it's no longer supporting the actual plant itself very well. So that is the only reason that I am upsizing this. I do expect to have some pretty good growth this summer, just with like the warmer temperatures and more light, obviously. So a couple things to know about this Pilea peperomioides, Chinese money plant, UFO plant, friendship plant, whatever it is that you call it, is that the stalk and the leaves itself really follow the light. So if you have it sitting next to a window, the stalk is going to reach for the light that's coming from the window. There's that root ball. You can see those roots kind of coming through, and I'm not really going to break this up. I'm just going to kind of loosen the dirt a tiny bit and then just plop it right down into this new soil. I'm going to add a little bit more. So if you have it in an area that the light is coming from a direction like north of the plant, right of the plant, then you're going to want to turn this plant every so often. I currently have this in my little plant room here with a grow light on the top. So it is reaching straight up. You can see these leaves are literally standing straight up like they got electrocuted. And I think that that is also helping that growth, and to make it look bigger is the upright growth that this plant is experiencing. Go. A couple other things to note is that if you are watering the Pilea peperomioides, it does not like for its leaves to get wet. So bottom watering, can you imagine? That would have been so bad. I have carpet in here, so that would have been a freaking nightmare. Bottom watering is going to be ideal for this so that the leaves are not getting wet. It does disturb them and they don't like it, and you will end up with some ugly leaves. Been there, done that. And then the last thing to note about this guy is that if you're having trouble with the growth, it does respond well to being fed, so a little bit of fertilizer. I do fertilize this plant typically once a month. In the growing season, it might be more often than that, especially if it's growing at a faster rate than it had been doing. I'm so excited to see the growth. I don't have any babies yet on this specific plant. Just gonna pack it in so that it's nice and secure here. I mean, this thing really has grown so much. If you have not seen my previous video on this, it was like teeny tiny and like not growing at all. And I put it in this smaller pot and it blew up. So bigger does not always mean better. There we go. Okay, and then I will water this in so that it kind of gets accustomed to it. All those little air bubbles that are underneath the soil go away. That looks so much more proportionate. Holy cow. There we go. Numero uno done. All right, so moving on to plant number 2. This is my Tradescantia zebrina / little piece of Nanook here. And this I had talked about in a previous video as well. Let's talk plant mail. And I got this plant back at Christmas time and it was like this big and like falling apart. It did not like traveling in the cold weather and it was an absolute wreck of a plant. And I just put it in a really nice window, and this thing has been my absolute most prolific grower. I will see if I can add a picture or a video of when I first got it 4 months ago, 5 months ago. It was literally this big. So I think that it is time to upsize this just a little bit, just to give it some room to grow, because I know that it will thrive really well this summer. So I changed my soil out here to a really chunky, more cacti type soil, and I have found this Tradescantia to really enjoy this chunkier soil. It has some cocoa coir chips, some perlite, and then smaller parts soil. So let's see if we can get those out without breaking anything here. This is a, oh, that looks so nice. Break this up a little bit. This is a pretty prolific growing plant, but I've noticed the leaves are like prone to panicking about every little thing. They get wet, they panic. You touch them, they're like, ew, gross, don't touch me. So I'm doing this really, really gently so that I'm not disturbing it too much. Just these little runners are so long. So with that being said, let's talk about, roots are great, a couple things to do with this plant. I'm complaining here about the runners, and because my plant does get so much light, I do not have very leggy runners, meaning that there's spaces on the actual stem that don't have a lot of leaves. And so, do you hear Penny? She's crying for me. Because it gets so much light. But if I did have leggier runners, it's really easy to just cut the stem, pull off the bottom leaves, and then just stick it right back down in the soil if you want a fuller, more robust, less leggy looking plant. In terms of propagation, these guys are really, really easy, and you don't really have to like water propagate or propagate them in moss or in pon or whatever. You really can just put it right back down into your pot, and they will continue to root and to grow. Here we go. Just gonna fill this guy in a little bit with this really barky soil. This is my husband's favorite. He'll tell you, he does not know what it's called, but he'll say, that purple plant, the one with the purple on the bottom, is his favorite, which is nice because it's like so easy. And I'm like, look at what a great plant mom I am. Look how much it's grown. He's like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. Having no idea. I literally just water it once every couple weeks or whatever and let it do its thing. So, couple tips. It's really important when you are repotting to press that soil down into the pot, because if you do not, water can sit in the little pockets that are created and not go through the actual soil into your drainage through the bottom, and that is where some root rot can happen. So I'm just backfilling this in and then kind of pressing it in. Not harshly, but just enough that it's stable and that it is not going to be filling with water. How cute. They're all cute, and I'll say that for every single one. Watch my videos and then take a shot every time you hear the word so cute. Actually, don't do that. Here we go. Penny's so sad. Okay, that really does look much better. And I'm excited to see what this does this summer. There's that little nook here. Pretty. All right, one more and then we will be good to go. Alrighty, last one is just this little cutie heartleaf philodendron, just one of the basics, but like I said, the roots are coming out of the bottom. So let's look and see what the root ball looks like on this guy and get him into a little bit bigger pot. If you're having trouble, which I'm not with any of these luckily, with getting the root ball out of the pot, if you just give it a little baby squeeze to kind of rough up the soil a bit, this is not bad. We got a little bit of, let's see if I can show you without making a mess. A little bit of roots kind of hugging the bottom there. So it does tell me that it would have become root bound sooner than later. And I am gonna rough this up a little bit. This is exactly how I got it from the store when I got it. So who's to say how this soil is? Okay, get that out of the way, and then let's add this in here. I am using clear pots. I'm trying to transition as much as possible in my soil plants to clear pots, because I like the idea of being able to see the root system, to be able to tell if it's root bound, right? a little bit more than just like, is it sticking out of the bottom? And also, I feel like it gives a little bit more light to those roots as well. So I did clear pots for all 3 today. There we go. Get this in here and then we will be good. I do have a garden started. We started seeds indoors talking about summer, and I am curious to hear what you guys are planting this summer in your garden, or if you just stick to houseplants, because this is only my 2nd year gardening, and last year we had kind of an abnormal year here in Wyoming, and it was super, super rainy, and I was like getting vegetables galore, thinking I am a fantastic gardener, but we will see if that is the case this year, if we have a little bit less rainy of a summer season. We always get hail, like so much hail here, and it wasn't as bad, I don't think, last year, so it'll probably be hailing and no rain. So we'll see if I'm actually as great of a gardener as I think I am. There we go, little cutie. That is that. Love it. Okay, so that is that. I'm hoping that these guys will grow so big for summer. I do want to give you a little sneak peek. I got a cute, just sought after, my dream plant, just a baby starter in. Pause the video and see if you can guess what it is. And then I will show you, and then that is a sneak peek for what our next video is going to be about. So pause, guess the starter. Did you guess it right? All right, I am done for now. I am off to go take care of this little baby plant. I will post a video on how that little dream guy goes. If you did guess it down below, I will make a video soon, so make sure that you like and subscribe so that you get notified when that video gets posted, and I will see you guys next time.